Hey, how's it going? I'm Mamma Jamma, and today I wanted to, well, kind of want to make a video for all you beginner guitarists out there. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is amplifiers and guitars. One cannot exist without the, well, of course it can exist. I don't know how matter would not be matter. What is, and what isn't, but anyway. Okay, now, I want to talk about amplifiers and guitars and which ones you should use for what style of music. Now, the difference of amplifiers and guitars can dramatically change your tone and kind of the style of which you play. Now, it all depends on what you like. Do you like metal? Do you like rock? Hard rock? Blues, all kinds of different stuff. Now, I've come to the different brands, which I like to call the trifecta of amps. And before I get started, I want to say that this will be a part 1 video. Part 2 will be guitars. This will be amplifiers. Now, like I said, there is basically, to me, a trifecta of very popular amplifiers that I want to get out there. Black Star, Marshall, and Fender. Each of these, to me, is a trifecta of style. Now, Black Star is good for metal and heavy riffing and all kinds of high gain playing. Marshall is good for hard rock and, well, all kinds of different stuff, but honestly, it's mainly used for rock. And the Fender amps are great for blues and country and surf and all kinds of awesome styles of music. And to be honest, I play all these styles of music. I love Black Sabbath, I love Jimi Hendrix, I love AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, basically all the classic kind of rock stuff. And you see, the thing about it is, I traded in to a musician's warehouse about a month ago, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I traded it in for, I traded in a Fender Excelsior for, which I was going to, mind you, trade it in for a Black Star. But I ended up with a Marshall MG50, which, by the way, is awesome. It is a great, great amp. And, like I said, the Black Star was really good. It really hit that Black Sabbath tone nicely. And it doesn't cost, you know, like, $50,000 or anything. Okay, I don't think it would cost that much, but it certainly would cost a decent amount, to be honest. Certainly over $1,000 if you really wanted to get a Black Sabbath tone with, like, I don't know, say a Marshall or something. So, yeah, if you're a huge Black Sabbath junkie and you really want that Black Sabbath tone, but you don't want that, you know, that much of a big price tag, get yourself a Black Star. I'm telling you, that crap is awesome. And the thing about the Black Stars, which I, when I was researching them, they're actually, most of them, even the tiny little ones, are like the HT1. Even the HT1, they're all tube amps. Now, this is a section where I talk about tube amps versus solid state. Now, solid state amps are basically like hardwired. Basically, they're kind of like microchips. Basically, that's basically solid state amp. And tube amps look like they kind of look like light bulbs a little bit. And they even they get bright. They even light up like a light bulb. And the thing about solid state and tube amps, and you probably, if you're getting into guitars and stuff like that, well, you're probably thinking, well, what the heck is a tube amp, and what's a solid state amp? What's the difference, and how do I tell? Well, usually they'll say it on the price tag. They'll say tube amp, and if it doesn't say tube amp, then it's probably a solid-state amp. Of course, you could just ask the store clerk if it's a tube amp or a solid-state amp, and they'll usually tell you. Usually, unless they're assholes. So, yeah, the tube amps and solid-state amps, the thing about what they do is they take a sound and they make it bigger. And the thing about solid-state versus tube amps is a lot of people, tube amps were all people could use back in the day until somebody invented the solid-state amp. And even today, people still use tube amps because they just sound better. They sound brighter, they sound clear, they sound crisper. They just sound better. But even though they do sound a little bit better, I still went with a solid-state amp. Don't forsake the solid-state amps. They're really great amps. And another thing I should talk about the tube amps is when you turn the volume up, even the master volume, up all the way, or hell, even the more you turn it up, it starts to distort. And then you start getting that hard rock gain out of your tube amp. So it really, makes it get crunchier and stuff like that. So instead of having kind of acoustic clean setting, you'll have a hard rocking kind of I don't know, Jimi Hendrix or something kind of thing going on there. Even sometimes, even depending on the tubes inside the amp, it'll even go metally on you. And that's Black Stars are, most of them, even like I said, the tiny little ones are tube amps, which is really cool and is really great for high gain players, shredders, and all kinds of high gain playing. Like I said, Black Sabbath and metal in general is great for Black Star is great for metal. So if you're a metal player or a shredder or whatever, get yourself or at least try out. You may or may not like it. I'm not saying get yourself a Black Star. No, it's really all personal preference. But I'm suggesting that you try them out inside the store, and don't be shy. All right, if there's a guy and he plays some awesome riff or something like that, and then he looks at you like, what's it gonna be, little boy? You know what? Forget that asshole. Just try out the amp, all right? You're a beginner. He was a beginner. He was just as, if not worse than you at some point in time. So, you know what? Screw him. So just try them out, really. And like I said, metal and rifters, Black Star. Rock, you're going to want a Marshall. Blues and surf, and hell, country, you're going to want a Fender. Or at least you're going to want to try out. Again, I'm not saying, go and get yourself these amps and blah, 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 blah. No, I'm saying you want to try these guys out. These are really highly suggested amps. But of course, there's always Voxes and all kinds of other amps that you might see in the store that you may or may not have heard of. Try those guys out too. Give them a little love. Try them out. So yeah, tube amps, great. Solid state amps, really great too. Again, also personal preference. And this is part 1. Now I'm going to, since this is a pretty long video, I'm going to go on to part 2, which will be talking about guitars and what you should use for, again, different styles of music, because you can't have like a country style guitar and play metal with it. That just, it won't sound right. So click part 2 if you want to look at what guitars you want to match up with different amps. Well, Mrs. Mamma Jamma, and you better jamma on.